at the Gala, written by Lotus Moon. It was the most anticipated night in Canterlot, the night of the Grand Galloping Gala. All of the Canterlot elite were dolled up and mingling. Twilight Sparkle was greeting guests with Princess Celestia, while Princess Luna mingled inside. Being her first gala since her defeat as Nightmare Moon. Twilight, after shaking hooves, sighed a little. The monarch of the sun noticed her student's sudden sigh and put a concerned hoof on her shoulder. Twilight, if you would like to partake in the festivities, you may. All of the guests have arrived, Celestia said, a caring look in her eyes. Are you sure, Princess? Twilight asked, her wings lightly ruffling against the dress Rarity had made for her just for this special evening. Celestia chuckled. Twilight, you are a princess as well. Go ahead and enjoy the gala. Celestia gently nudged Twilight towards the doors leading into the gala. With a small smile, Twilight bowed politely before trotting off into the gala itself. When the doors opened, music and chatter filled the air. Ponies socializing and dancing all around her. Twilight spotted Princess Luna speaking with some mares who seemed rather giddy. It was most likely due to the fabulously royal blue dress she wore, which complemented her dark blue coat and starry midnight mane and tail. Surveying the room, she saw Princess Cadance in shining armor chatting with Rarity, and she decided to head over to them. I must say, Princess Cadance, the dress looks fabulous on you. It makes you look even more radiant than all the gems in Equestria. Rarity smiled. Why, thank you, Rarity. I thought it might be too simple for such a formal event, but I guess I was just being silly. Cadance smiled, and her smile grew even brighter when Twilight came into view. Twilight! You made it inside! She trotted closer and hugged her sister-in-law. Yes, Princess Celestia said I should enjoy the gala this evening, since all of the guests have now arrived, Twilight said, then eyed her older brother walking towards them wearing armor. Shining armor? Why are you wearing, armor tonight? I wanted to ask earlier, but I didn't get the chance to. Aren't you here to enjoy the gala?
No such luck, Twilight. As captain of the Royal Guard, whether here in Canterlot or in the Crystal Empire, I'm always on duty.
Shining said and hugged his little sister. How are things in the Crystal Empire? How's little Fairy Heart? She asked after being released by her brother. Cadance and Shining Armor looked at each other, almost beaming with pride. She started talking just last week, Cadance said proudly. Really? Twilight ears perked up and her eyes sparkled. Yeah, she can only speak a little though. It happened during her magic lessons with Sunburst. We came in to check her progress, and that's when she said, Mama. Shining was so excited, he almost pranced around like an excited filly.
Okay, Cadance. You didn't have to tell her that.
Shining Armor's cheeks turned a light pink from embarrassment.
I was just excited. Anyway, Twilight, you should come see her sometime. I'm sure you miss her.
I do. And I haven't seen her since the crystalling. I bet her flying has gotten better. It has. And she loves flying around. So I take her flying when I can. Cadance smiled. That's amazing. I'll be sure to visit soon so we can all fly together, Twilight said and ruffled her wings again. Something Cadance took notice to. She sent Shining Armor to check in with the royal guards, and when he was gone, she put a hoof on Twilight's shoulder. Twilight, let's go out to the garden. Giving her a puzzled look, Twilight followed Cadance out to the Canterlot garden. Once outside, they sat on a nearby bench. After a few moments of silence, Cadance spoke up. Twilight, what's wrong? You're not yourself tonight. Nothing's wrong, Cadance, Twilight insisted. Twilight, I'm the Princess of Love and your sister-in-law. I can tell when something's wrong with you. You know you can talk to me. Cadance smiled, slightly concerned. Is it a stallion? Are you in love? Not surprised Cadance saw right through her, Twilight let her walls down with a huge sigh. Yeah, I think I am. I've read books on what being in love is like, but it feels a lot more complicated. I feel happy, yet also not. Tired, but also fully awake. When I think I'm focusing, all I'm really doing is daydreaming. Oh, I can barely focus on anything regarding my studies. Twilight rested a hoof on her cheek. I don't understand. Is there something I'm missing? Cadance chuckled softly. Oh, Twilight, love never makes sense. Especially not to ponies experience it for the first time. As the Princess of Love, I know how to help. But it would be a bit more helpful if I knew the stallion who caught my sister-in-law's attention. He actually escorted you to Ponyville when you came to enjoy the Star Swirl the Bearded exhibit. Well, before Discord interrupted us. He was the stallion on the right. His name is Flash Sentry, I believe? Twilight admitted. Flash Sentry? Really? Oh, Twilight, that's wonderful. Now I can understand why you're so upset. You don't know if he feels the same way about you. Of course I don't. And he's one of the guards for the party tonight. So I don't even have the chance to ask him. Besides, I'm a princess now, and he's just a guard. It's a strange pairing. Twilight ruffled her wings once more, and at this point it had become a bit of a nervous twitch out of frustration. Well, you never know if you don't try, even if it is a long shot. Knowing how he feels will help you sort out your own feelings, Cadance encouraged. And what if he doesn't like me or want to be with me because I'm a princess? Twilight's ears flopped downward as she slid off the bench and walked further into the garden. I don't know if I want to be disappointed. Feeling bad and really wanting to help, Cadance went back into the gala to find Shining Armor. When she did, she pulled him aside and asked him to allow Flash Sentry to have the night off. He's working so hard and I believe he deserves at least a night off. Plus, I know a certain pony who really appreciate it. She smiled.
We all the hooves we can get to patrol the gala. But even the guards do need a break from time to time, so I guess I can let Flash have this one night off.
Shining smiled at her. He went to give Flash Sentry and told him to enjoy the gala for the night. Though reluctant at first, Flash agreed, and Cadance wasted no time in taking him to get changed from his armor into more formal attire.
Excuse me, Princess Cadance? What is this for? I'm not really all that good at this formal stuff.
Flash said, slightly adjusting his tie. Flash, walk with me. Cadance smiled, taking the long route to the garden with Flash next to her. Have you ever been in love? She asked.
In love? Well, I guess I can say I have. I'm still in love.
Flash admitted, his cheeks turning a light pink. Oh? With whom, may I ask?
She's this beautifully powerful unicorn who can be a little clumsy, but is really just curious about things. So she studies a lot.
He said. That sounds a lot like Princess Twilight. Cadance teased a bit, and Flash's face immediately turned red.
Oh no, Princess, I wouldn't dare imply that.
He stopped mid-sentence and gave a long sigh.
Alright, I admit, I'm in love with Princess Twilight Sparkle. But she's really in a whole different world than me. I'm just a guard, and she's an important princess. There's no way she'd show any interest in me.
Oh, you'd be surprised. If you want to know, then why not go ask her? Cadance said, pointing her hoof towards Twilight, sitting by the morning glory flower patch in the garden.
When did we get to the garden?
He looked around slightly confused.
And why is she out here alone? Shouldn't a guard be here with her?
Why, yes, a guard should be out here watching over the princess. Now, where would we find a valiant guard to perform such a task? Cadance giggled softly and gently pushed Flash towards Twilight's direction before rejoining the exciting gala. Picking up on the hint, Flash Sentry timidly trotted over to Twilight and cleared his throat.
Excuse me, Princess Twilight.
Twilight shrieked a bit, distracted from her thoughts. She turned to see Flash Sentry behind her, and her eyes twinkled a bit from seeing him dressed in such dashing formal attire. Hello, Flash Sentry. What brings you to the garden? Aren't you supposed to be on the Royal Guard detail?
Shining armor relieved me of duty to enjoy the gala, and Princess Cadance, well, she brought me here to guard you, I believe.
He rubbed the back of his head with his hoof nervously.
But since I'm not in uniform, I guess we could use this chance to talk?
I would love to. Twilight smiled timidly, and Flash sat next to her. For what seemed to be a very long moment, neither of them said anything. Twilight rubbed her forearm nervously, while Flash just looked around. Beautiful night, isn't it? Twilight began.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Flash said, and looked up at the moon.
Princess Luna's moon is really bright.
Yes, it is. Twilight looked up as well. It's as beautiful as ever, she said, and they both suddenly noticed a slow song that was playing inside. The silhouettes of ponies dancing inside looked quite distant and elegant. Having the feeling he wouldn't get this chance to dance again, since he'd have to return to his guard duties eventually, Flash extended his hoof towards Twilight.
Princess, would you like to dance?
He asked her. Dance? Well, yes. I would love to, but I don't really know how, Twilight admitted shyly. I wouldn't want to embarrass myself in front of every pony.
Then we can just dance out here. No one will see.
He smiled, and with a little confidence, Twilight set her hoof on Flash's, and the two started to dance, surrounded by flowers, the moon, and stars. It took a little time for Twilight to get the dance steps down, but Flash seemed comfortable dancing and laughed internally at her clumsiness.
She's so beautiful and very cute when she's clumsy. I never imagined she wouldn't know how to dance.
As they danced, Cadance was coming back to the garden to check on them, this time with shining armor by her side.
Cadance, I still don't get why you asked Flash to have the night off. I mean, I know nothing could really happen, but...
Shining armor was cut off when Cadance raised a hoof to her lips to shush him before pointing at the scene of the Pegasus Guard and Alicorn Princess dancing together.
What is he doing with my sister?
Shining, dear, they're dancing, Cadance smiled. They look quite cute together.
Cute! She's my little sister and he's one of the royal guards. I can't let this slide.
Shining said, but noticed how happy Twilight looked, despite being a little awkward at dancing.
That's the first time I've seen her smile like that.
Because she's in love, silly. She's in love with Flash, and he's in love with her, Cadance said. It wasn't really hard to tell once they opened up to me. Twilight and Flash continued their dance. This feels impossible. I feel out of my element dancing like this, Twilight admitted.
Then how about we dance in the air?
Flash suggested and spread his wings, gently levitating off the ground, and offered for Twilight to join him. Twilight spread her wings as well and joined Flash in the air, and they continued their dance. And this time, Twilight was a little better at dancing, and smiled confidently as they glided through the air. Cadance smiled, seeing Twilight and Flash have such a good time. Why don't we go back inside so we don't disturb them? Cadance suggested, and Shining Armor agreed. As they went back inside, Flash gazed lovingly into Twilight's eyes as she also returned his gaze.
So beautiful.
What is?
You.
Flash smiled as they started to descend towards the ground.
I always thought you were beautiful, Princess. Not only that, you're brave and strong. You saved Equestria many times, and you always have such a way with how determined you are to protect everyone. I admire everything about you, and that's why I'm in love with you.
Twilight's heart fluttered a bit. You're in love with me? Her eyes welled up with tears.
Yes, I am.
Oh, Flash, I'm in love with you too. Every time I think of you, I feel so many things like happiness and frustration and everything else. I could never make sense of anything whenever you entered my thoughts. Twilight wiped her tears from her eyes and smiled. I love you, Flash Sentry. With their feelings for each other finally known, Flash and Twilight leaned in and shared a loving kiss as the night of the Grand Galloping Gala began to reach its inevitable end. This was the most romantic night of Twilight's life.